Hello, and welcome again to the Algebra II playlist. Today I'm going to teach another way of solving a quadratic equation. Oops. Why does that keep happening? Okay, there we go. Something like that. Let's say you have an equation x squared minus 7x plus 8 equals 0. And you say, well, everything we did before that always had an x squared term, or the x was in parentheses and was getting squared somehow. Well, when the coefficient of x squared is equal to 1, there's a really easy way of doing this. Now, we're going to look at these two terms right here. Let's call this negative 7a, actually, no, b, and this positive 8c. What we're trying to find out is two numbers, let's say the two numbers are d and e, that when multiplied, oops, I did something wrong. Give me a second. This should be, what is it? Minus 8. Oops, that wasn't supposed to happen. Sorry, my computer has, let's say, it, whatever. Anyways, we have to find two numbers, d and e, that multiply out to c, and d plus e equals b. Now let's think about it. So our c is negative 8, and our b is negative 7. Let's think about the factors of negative 8. Negative 8, 1. Let's try negative 8 and 1. Negative 8 times 1 is equal to negative 8. And then negative 8 plus 1 is equal to negative 7. So our two numbers, d and e, are negative 8 and 1. How does this help us? Well, now we put this like so. And the rule is x plus d, we put x plus d in one of them, and x plus e in the other. In Algebra 1, you should have learned how to FOIL things, but that's multiplying two binomials. That's first, outer, inner, last. So you multiply these two right here, then these two, so that would be x squared plus ex, and then these two, so that's plus dx, and then these two, so that's plus de. And when you add, so if you have numbers, those will cancel out. I mean, those will add together and you'll get a normal number. So what is our d? Our d is negative 8, so we'll put x minus 8. And then our e is positive 1, so x plus 1. Now, let's use FOIL to figure out if that's true. Well, first we're going to do x times x, so that's x squared. That's minus 8 and x, so that's minus 8x, plus 1x, which is just plus 1x, then negative 8 times 1 is negative 8. Let's see. That's all equal to 0. Let's see. We can add these two, and we'll get that x squared minus 7x minus 8 equals 0. Well, hello. Look at that. Works flawlessly. Okay. Now that we have x minus 8 times x plus 1 is equal to 0, we can do something called the zero product property. We're going to set both of them equal to 0. So x minus 8 equals 0, and we're going to put or. It's the mathematical or. That means and or. X plus 1 equals 0. Now, to solve this for x, we're going to add 8 here, so it's plus 8. These are like easy one-step equations that you must have learned in pre-algebra. Minus 1, minus 1. And we get that. See, I want a really cool color for a good finish. X equals 8, or x equals negative 1. And remember, we had talked about in the previous video that a quadratic always has two solutions. Well, it can sometimes have 1 or 0, but I'll explain those later, because right now it wouldn't make any sense. But, well, practice makes perfect, so let's do our second one. Let's see, x squared plus x minus 2 is equal to 0. Well, let's find our d and e. Factors of negative 2 can only be negative 2 and 1 and 2 and negative 1. Well, let's start with this one up here. Negative 2 times 1 is equal to negative 2. Negative 2 plus 1 equals negative 1, and this should be plus 1. Now let's see. 2 times negative 1 is equal to negative 2, and 2 times negative 1 is equal to negative 2, and 2 minus 1 is equal to 1. And we have 1 right here. So we'll put that into our x plus d and x plus e, so it's x plus 2 and x minus 1. Easy, right? Okay. So that means that x plus 2 is equal to 0, or x minus 1 is equal to 0. Now we subtract on both sides. Minus 2 minus 2 plus 1 plus 1. Now, that means that x is equal to negative 2, or x equals 1. Again, we have two solutions. And let's say, for instance, we take 1 and we put it back into the original equation. 1 squared plus 1 minus 2 should equal 0. So what is 1 squared? That's 1 plus 1 minus 2 equals 0. 1 plus 1 is 2. 2 minus 2 equals 0. 2 minus 2 does equal 0. Oops, well, the cat was bothering me, so I just fed him. Sorry about that. Well, practice makes perfect. Let's keep going. X squared plus 2x plus 3 equals 0. Right away, factors of 3 are 3 and 1 and negative 3 and negative 1, but let's start with 3 1. 3 and 1 times, so let's see. Wait. Give me a second. Oops, that should be a 4. Sorry. 4. How about I just completely redo that? Sorry. My book is not giving me the correct questions. I wrote them down in quite a hurry. This should be 4x. Sorry about that. So 4x. So, oops. What is up today? Things just aren't working. Okay, so what is our d? Well, 3 times 1 is equal to 3, and 3 plus 1 is equal to 4. So we're going to do x plus 3 times x plus 1 equals 0. X plus 3 equals 0, or x plus 1 equals 0. We're just going to subtract 3 on both sides, minus 1, and then minus 1 on both sides, and then we'll get our glorious answer that x equals negative 3, or x equals negative 1. Okay, let's do one more problem, and then I will see you next time when we're going to do hard factoring. It's really, really hard. Just kidding. I'm not trying to scare you. X squared plus 7x plus 15 equals 3. Now, right away, you notice that there is not a 0 on this side. What do? We just subtract 3 on both sides. Net brings us to 0 on that side. These two cancel out. And 15 minus 3, so that's x squared plus 7x plus 12 equals 0. Now, factors of 12. Let's see. Factors of 12 that add up to 7. Well, 3 and 4. Pause the video if you're going to use the D&E method. I would recommend you start doing it mentally, but if you need the D&E method, you can always stop the video and do it, because most of you are probably doing these problems along with me. So x plus 3 equals 0, or x plus 4 equals 0. What do we do now? Well, we solve for x. We subtract 3 on both sides. And x equals negative 3, or x equals negative 4. Now, the reason I had to get 0 here is because if I don't do so, I can't apply the zero product property. This has to be 0 so we can do all of this. So I hope you understood all of that. Have fun. Bye.